Okay, this is it. This is the beginning of what we've been talking about and talking about and talking about. This is the introduction for technical application of all the techniques, baits, everything that we've alluded to in the previous episodes. So we are going to go deep, guys. This is all the stuff that's been leading up to this. We're going to bring it all back into this now, and we're going to go for it either individual technique at a time, or where it's applicable, individual lure at a time. These episodes are going to probably be longer, most of them, and require more concentration. So whereas before we've just skirted around things, we're now going to go in depth. And I just want, before we start the whole series, I just wanted to tell you how we're going to lay it out. Some of you may not want to watch episodes about certain baits. That's why I've decided to do it episode by episode, bait by bait. They may not apply in the area that you fish in. So you may feel that, what is the point about learning about that type of bait when I'm not going to ever use it in my area or my lake or my river, whatever the case is. And that's cool. Well, that's 100%. And I agree, there are some techniques that are not applicable to everywhere that you're going to fish. How we're going to do it is, I'm going to break down the construction of the bait where it's applicable. That obviously for the soft plastic baits, that's not really going to apply. But for wire baits, jigs, hard baits, I'm going to explain how they're constructed, and there is reasoning behind it, and you'll understand it when we get to it. We're going to talk about tackle, rods, reels, and lines for where it's applicable for those lures, and then hooks, sinkers, swivels, beads, everything else where it's applicable for the other lures. We've already discussed when we did rods and reels that a 7-foot medium heavy rod, either spinning or casting, plus reel plus line, will cover most situations in bass fishing. Now we're going to go into the individual requirements per lure. This does not mean that you have to rush out and buy everything. These will all be recommendations. I'm giving you the information to help you make informed decisions when you decide to either upgrade tackle or expand your tackle, because that may be a technique that you feel that you want to focus on. We will do the same thing again as far as possible, where we go into 3 different budget categories for buying lures, because some of these lures are expensive, not all of them. And then we're going to talk about the application. So once we've covered the lure itself or the technique itself, we're going to cover the application. I'm going to do my best to show you on generic maps of areas that I feel in my experience where it would be the best starting places or best idea where you could use those particular baits. Now, as I have said right from the beginning on this channel, there's no rules in this game. I can teach you what I know about different baits and techniques, and you can take that information, go out and use it in a completely different scenario from what I've tried to explain to you, and catch fish on it. And that's great. And if that happens, put it in the comments. I want to know about it. These are broad stroke guidelines, but we're going to get in the weeds with this. We're going to go deep. I want you to understand the theory behind the bait, how to use the bait, where to use the bait, and what you need to use the bait. Now, small disclaimer. Since I started my company I don't buy a lot of other lures, brands of lures. I make my own soft plastic, I make my own jig spinnerbaits, and I paint my own hard baits. So I'm not going to harp on it the whole time. If you see me demonstrating a lure and I don't give the brand of the lure, it's because it's mine. I've made it or I've painted it. I will name other brands. I have no hesitation naming other brands of lures that may fall in the same categories. The purpose of this is not for me to punt my company. That is absolutely not the purpose. But those are the baits that I have in the majority because I love to make them. Those of you that would like to get in contact with me about possibly getting some baits from me, I will always have a link below for my Facebook page where you can get in contact with me about possibly having some custom work done. But it's not the purpose of these videos. The way I'm going to structure these videos is going to be very similar. I feel that if we just crash into it and we'll just get lost. So I'm going to structure them in a similar way. One of the things that I will be doing is adding personal experience that I may have with that particular bait, where I may say, this is what I did with that bait at that location, and that's the reason why. Everything that we're going to discuss here is in my experience. If there are things that I have not done, I will make it clear to you that I have not done it. And it is what I have learned from watching other videos or whatever the case might be. There is probably going to be times where I will either credit other fishermen or I will put direct links to channels for some of the things that I have not had a lot of experience with. Where I'm living at the moment, as I've explained to you all before, there is no bass fishing. And I've been here for 6 years now. So there are techniques that have been developed in the last 6 years that I've had very little chance to learn. That's the short way to put it. But I do travel every year and go and fish every year, usually in America. And I will focus on some of those techniques where possible. There is going to be video of actual fishing in there. It's not just going to be the classroom scenario where it's like again, the sessions again. I just asked for your patience a little bit there, guys. I actually need to go over and do some fishing. So I will put that in where possible. Now, I'm not going to do these in like a list form where we do all the jigs and all the topwaters and all the different types of crankbaits. I think that's counterproductive, and I think it will be probably quite boring. So we're going to jump around a little bit. What I'm going to do is every single episode, I will name the episode of the exact bait or technique that we're going to do that week. Then I'm going to put them into a playlist on the channel, and you can just go on to click on that playlist, scroll down, and decide what you want to look at. There's a lot to get through. One of the main things that I'm a little bit concerned about, which I want you to just understand, is where we get into the techniques of the soft plastics. We're going to have to do a couple of videos where I discuss the different types of soft plastics as a whole, and then when we get into the techniques that use those soft plastics, then we'll reintroduce that in there. I'm going to approach this from the point of view of the people that are watching, which is my hope, have no idea what I'm talking about. If you do, just be aware that I will be explaining things in detail. From the beginning of this channel, the reason that I started this channel is because I want to encourage people to start bass fishing, or people that have started bass fishing. I want to encourage them and to teach them more. I find that people are sometimes scared to ask questions. I don't know why that is. the way I was brought up is there's no stupid questions, there's only stupid answers. And I think a lot of people are scared to ask questions for fear of being ridiculed. And I really hope that that is not the case with what we're going to do. I need you guys to put your questions in on the particular episodes. There may well be stuff that I have missed or overlooked. And there may be scenarios where you live, where you feel that that technique could work, but you're not quite sure how to apply it or what bait you should maybe use. So put your questions in the comments, guys. I'm happy to try and answer anything on each individual bait that we're going to do. I have experience with most lures. As I have mentioned to you guys, I cannot help myself. I have to try everything. And by doing that, we learn. And I'm hoping that that's the general vibe of this channel, is just learn. We're going to learn stuff. And some of it may be stuff that you already know, but there might be a little nugget in there that can help you with that particular technique that you enjoy. I'm super excited about this part. It's been a long time coming, guys. I think we're about 16 episodes in to get to this point. I was trying to lay a foundation so that we don't just pile into the actual fishing. And then I got a lot of but what, but how, but it can be quite tricky when you're navigating your way into bass fishing because there's so much information available. And a lot of it is very advanced stuff, especially from the professional anglers, because they do it on a day-to-day basis. That's not the point of this channel, as you guys know. The point of this is for us all to start at one level and work our way up to become more proficient anglers. I hope some of you go on to become tournament anglers. It's my greatest wish that some of you go on to be tournament anglers. But for those of you that don't want to do that, I want you to still enjoy your fishing to the maximum. And the way that I feel that I can help with that is by maybe just teaching you a little bit to help you catch more or bigger fish. Let's dive into this, guys. It's going to be a big one. It's going to run for a long time. There's a lot to get through. I hope you stick with me. Let's get into it.